Hi, welcome to Mini Movies. Today I'm going to explain an American zombie comedy film called Life After Beth. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. Beth is a teenage girl who likes hiking very much. One day while hiking, a poisonous snake bites her and she dies. The next day, her boyfriend Zach is out looking for black napkins at the supermarket. After buying the napkins, Zach goes to Beth's funeral. Zach and his parents return home, where his brother, Kyle, the security guard for their community, asks him some inappropriate things. Zach's mental health in the following days, as he mourns for Beth, is declining, culminating with him going to Beth's house just as their housekeeper, Praline, gets out of there. There, he talks with Beth's parents, Maury and Jeannie. Jeannie boxes up Beth's things, while Zach and Maury play chess. Maury takes out a joint and smokes it with Zach. Zach admits that he and Beth had some problems in their relationship before she died. Maury says that Beth's last words to him were to stop being annoying. He tells Zach that they shouldn't let things like that define their entire relationship that they had with someone. Jeannie gives Zach one of Beth's scarves as a keepsake. Zach is still a wreck despite his family's advice to move on, and the Slocums stop contacting Zach and ignore his calls. He visits them, but they won't let him in. Back at his house, Zach's parents think that he's acting strange and suggest he see a doctor. But Zach knows exactly what he's going through and doesn't take their advice seriously. One afternoon, he goes to Beth's house and peeks through the window. He sees what he thinks is Beth walking through the halls. Zach freaks out and pounds on the door. Kyle comes over and takes him away. He also threatens to have Zach arrested if he continues disturbing the Slocums. To fuel his suspicions further, he visits Beth's gravesite and sees a big hole in the ground. Even as Maury tries to push him away, Zach finally manages to get into the Slocums' house. He sees Jeannie trying to push Beth in the closet, forcing them to come clean. Zach is both delighted and alarmed to see that his girlfriend is alive. Beth has no memory of being dead, claiming that she has a test to study for the next day. She also mistakes Zach's questioning as thinking he believes she cheated on him, or that he wants to break up. Zach gets angry and leaves. When he comes home, he tells his parents that Beth's death was a big hoax, so the next day, his mom takes him to get a test in the hospital. After a while, Zach revisits Beth and decides to spend some time with her. Beth's parents wait for them downstairs and don't like the idea of the two of them going outside in broad daylight, so they suggest they go out at night and spend the day with them instead. However, at night, the parents still don't like them going outside of the house and make them stay to swim in the pool. Later, Beth waits for Zach at the pool, telling him that she's worried about the test, so he sits next to her and comforts her. While sitting there, he notices the snake bite on her skin, and she later goes home with a blistering sore on her cheek. The next day, Zach talks to her on the phone in a lovey-dovey kind of way. Then he goes to speak with Kyle, who's cleaning his gun. He apologizes to his brother and tells him that Beth is alive, but Kyle still doesn't believe him. He goes to the kitchen where his parents are having breakfast, happy that he looks better, but suspicious about his behavior. When he leaves the house to go to Beth's house, he has a weird encounter with their old mailman, whom he hasn't seen in a while. At the Slocums, Beth's behavior is increasingly odd, and Zach tells Maury that he should tell Beth that she died. However, her father doesn't think that's a good idea, thinking she'll just get confused and upset. Maury makes Zach promise not to say anything if he still wants to see Beth, so he agrees. That day, Beth wants to go for a hike with Zach, and even though Maury doesn't think it's a good idea, he still lets the kids leave. Beth starts touching Zach in the car, so they stop at a playground and make love on the sand in broad daylight. They both lay in the sun for a while, so when they come back to her home, her parents notice a huge burn on her cheek and freaks out about it. Maury scolds them and says that it's the final time they get to go out, while Jeannie tries calming the situation, saying they'll just put some makeup on it, making the dad angry because she's not on his side. As Zach leaves the house, Maury confronts him again and tells him that he can't come back anymore. Nevertheless, Zach comes back that night and sneaks into the house and takes Beth to the beach. He begins to serenade her with a song that he wrote, but she hates it so much that it pisses her off. She starts breaking off the lifeguard stand, causing it to catch fire. Beth asks Zach to help her, and he takes her, screaming, back to the car. But when they get there, Zach barely turns around for a second before she breaks the window with her elbow, thinking that he's already trying to abandon her. The only thing to calm Beth down seems to be smooth jazz music that she finds on the radio. Zach gets her home, and she tells him that she likes the music, then kisses him, and he takes her back to the attic by climbing the wall. Beth puts on smooth jazz on her boombox and begins to undress when Zach notices that the walls are covered with mud. Beth starts to undress him and throws him on the floor, but Zach sees her autopsy scar and is put off by her violent behavior, so he gets out of there as fast as possible. People in town start behaving oddly, exhibiting similar mood swings and spaced out behavior to Beth. Needing a break from Beth, Zach goes to a diner, There, he sees an old childhood friend, Erica, and she sits with him. She gives her condolences to him over Beth. Zach has a hard time telling her what's going on, and that he now prefers that Beth stay dead. After they finish their meal, Zach accidentally runs Beth over with his car. She's okay, but when people try to help her, she screams at them and scares them off. They argue for a bit when Erica comes out of the diner and calls to him, getting Beth angry. Zach introduces them, and when Erica hears her name, she asks if there's another Beth, which makes her even angrier. Erica acts chummy towards Zach, so Beth grabs her until he has to pull them apart. Beth asks Zach to tell her what's wrong. Realizing that it's time to reveal the truth, Zach takes her to her gravesite and tells her the truth about her death. This makes her even angrier, and she steals his car. Zach walks home and sees Kyle and their parents panicking, since Zach's dead grandfather is sitting in the living room, now a reanimated corpse. Then enters the previous owners of the home. Kyle tries shooting them, but they don't go down. They're not flesh hungry, just cranky. Maury then comes to get Zach and tells him that it's his fault this is happening, since he went and told Beth about her death. He wants Zach to lie to her and tell her that he made up the story about her death. They resolve to have Maury call their former housekeeper, Perline, to see if she may know anything about stopping zombies, purely because Perline is Haitian. They go back to the Slocum house, where Beth breaks through the window and comes back with her face caked in blood. Zach brings her into the car. Zach goes to the motel to find Perline, only to find her cousin there, who thinks it's offensive that anyone would assume they know about voodoo or zombies because they're Haitian. The cousin said that Perline had nothing to do with what was happening, and that she quit working for the Slocums because Maury wanted her to walk around the house naked. Zach is left without any answers. Maury shows up, knocks Zach out, and takes Beth home. When he returns home, Zach finds someone in his house, who then runs away. Outside in the backyard, there are burnt corpses, leading Zach to assume that his family is dead. He packs his bags and prepares to get out of town, though he has a change of heart and goes back to Beth's home. She's officially turned into a mindless, bloodthirsty zombie, having eaten Maury, which leads to Jeannie tying her to the stove. Zach convinces Jeannie to let him take Beth with him. He tells her that they're going on a hike. Outside, Kyle shows up, shooting any zombies in his path. He tells Zach that their parents are alive and hiding in a safe house. He gives Zach his gun and tells him to shoot her in the head, since it's the only way to kill a zombie. Zach takes Beth on a hike, and when they get to a cliff to stop and check out the view, he tearfully apologizes for not doing all the things Beth wanted to do. He tells her that he loves her, and Beth is able to mutter, "I love you too." He shoots Beth in the head, and her body tumbles down the hill with the stove crushing her as it goes with her. Zach then finds the safe house, reuniting with his family, and he sees that Erica has joined them after her mother turned into a zombie. She's forced to kill her, leaving her traumatized. Zach tells everyone that he's killed Beth. Suddenly, the power comes back on, and the news comes on, with a report that although things look messed up, people seem to be going back to normal. Zach's mom takes him and Erica to the graveyard, where he visits Beth and Maury's graves. He leaves Beth's scarf on the ground. They then leave, and Zach asks Erica out to dinner. She accepts Zach's advances and smiles as his mom drives them away from the graveyard.